This is San Francisco, a city where a single house can hold a century of American dreams and an impossible price tag. 3 bedrooms, worn steps, still and silent. A home that has outlasted generations. Inside, the floors tell the story, worn smooth at the edges by decades of daily life. Golden light pours through tall, narrow windows, the kind of light that makes even empty rooms feel like they matter. Granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, the renovations that were supposed to justify the price. Empty breakfast nook by the window, morning light falling across the table. $1.2 million for a pale blue Victorian on a quiet San Francisco street. 94 days on the market. Each X on the calendar a quiet question. Is anyone coming? 5 years ago, 20 people showed up on the first day. The market was different then. Sold in 48 hours. That was the San Francisco of 5 years ago.
The same street today. Quiet. No foot traffic, no open houses. Just the for sale sign and the wind. Somewhere on this street, someone is leaving. No ceremony, just boxes and a rented truck. One last look, then the door closes on everything they built here. Every year, more Californians make this same choice. The highways east fill with their question marks. What's left behind? Dust on a windowsill and light that no longer has anywhere to land. Los Angeles, where the next chapter begins. Dense, expensive, and already full. 5 floors, no lobby, street-level entry. The architecture of affordability. Barely. Inside, laminate flooring, curling at the corners. The kind of detail you only notice once it's too late. A galley kitchen, yellowed tile, fluorescent hum. The price tag says otherwise. Thin walls, a flickering light. The small indignities that $2,100 a month does not forgive. The window faces a parking structure. This is the view. This is what $2,100 buys in Los Angeles. $2,100 every month for 1 bedroom in Los Angeles. The same $2,100 in Dallas, that's a mortgage payment on a 4-bedroom house. Same number, 2 completely different lives. The geography of American housing in one frame. Meet the couple who did everything right. They bought in 2003. They waited 20 years. El Cajon, California, 1,400 square feet, a suburb street that time forgot. 3 bedrooms connected by a hallway. The original 1980s tile unchanged. Practical, unpretentious. Oak cabinets, laminate countertops, a small window above the sink. Exactly what it is and nothing more. The backyard, dry, sun-baked, honest about what Southern California costs in water. In 2003, they paid $310,000, a number that no longer exists anywhere in California. In 2023, they sold for $720,000. 20 years, more than double. The equity of patience. With $410,000 in equity, they pointed east, all the way to South Carolina. Greenville, South Carolina. Brand new construction. Room to breathe. LVP flooring, quartz countertops, vaulted ceilings, everything new, everything included. 2-car garage, clean concrete floor, space that's just space. A back porch, a still lake, morning light on the water. This is what $385,000 bought them in South Carolina. They paid cash, $385,000. The equity from a San Diego suburb for a lakeside home in the South.
Marcus and Diana found Austin in 2018. Young, optimistic, and priced out of both coasts. The Mueller neighborhood, tree-lined streets, a balcony that made everything feel possible. In 2018, the rent was $1,350 a month. Austin was still Austin, before everyone knew about it.
5 years later, nothing changed. Same apartment, same countertops, same balcony, but a very different rent notice. Slid under the door in 2023. $2,400 a month. A 78% rent increase in 5 years. They weren't alone. The highways into Texas had been filling with moving trucks for years. 150 to 200 new residents arriving in Austin every single day. Real estate offices were standing room only. Everyone wanted in before the prices moved again. Remote work made it possible. California salaries, Texas prices. The arbitrage was irresistible. Marcus and Diana packed up the apartment they loved. Austin had become what they'd moved to Austin to escape. They found San Antonio, 70 miles southwest. Still Texas. Still affordable. For now. But the for sale signs in San Antonio already had different numbers than they had 2 years ago. 40%. San Antonio home prices had risen 40% since 2020. The wave had arrived before they did. The pattern was repeating everywhere. A wave of migration spreading from city to city like ripples in water. The National Association of Realtors had been tracking this. The data confirmed what anyone driving through Texas could already see. Housing affordability in 2023 hit its lowest point in 40 years. Not since the early 1980s had it been this hard to buy a home in America. In California, the median home price was 12.5 times the median household income. The threshold for affordability is 4. A ratio of 4 is considered the boundary of affordability. California is more than 3 times beyond it. New York, the original impossible city. Dense beyond reason, expensive beyond logic, and still people come. In New York, more than 30% of median income goes directly to rent every single month before anything else. When residents leave, tax revenue follows them out the door. The city can feel the subtraction. Fewer people paying taxes means fewer services. The corridors of city government grow quieter. School enrollment numbers drop. Budgets follow. The peeling notice board becomes its own kind of data. Infrastructure deferred. Orange cones that have been sitting in the same place for 6 weeks. From above at night, you can see it. Fewer lights, fewer windows inhabited. A city dimming at the edges. The neighbors have stopped being surprised. This is the rhythm now. Boise, Idaho. Wide streets, brick storefronts. A downtown that hadn't been discovered yet. A modest ranch house, beige carpet, popcorn ceiling, single-car garage. Exactly what middle-class America once looked like. In 2017, this house listed for $180,000. Boise was still a secret. In 2022, same house, same carpet, same popcorn ceiling. $450,000. The secret was out. The local nurse who'd been saving for 3 years walked away from a bidding war she couldn't win. The teacher packed her car. Not a moving truck, just a car. There wasn't much left to take. The mechanic who'd run his shop for 15 years loaded his tools into a pickup and drove north. The pressure spread outward. Smaller Idaho towns, further from Boise, now had for sale signs in yards that hadn't seen them in years. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Brick buildings, river views, artists arriving to claim affordable studio space, while it lasted. The cranes arrived before anyone could blink. Downtown Chattanooga was being rebuilt in real time. New construction, exposed concrete, floor-to-ceiling windows.
the aesthetic of arrival. Starting from $1,800 a month. In Chattanooga, a city that 3 years ago had median rents below $1,000. In 2020, the median rent in Chattanooga was $950 a month. The city was a different place. The schools weren't built for this many children. The cafeteria holds 200. The enrollment is 340. Roads designed for a smaller city now locked up every morning. Chattanooga's infrastructure hadn't caught up.
Water engineers reviewed the stress maps. The pipes and treatment capacity were built for a population that no longer matched the reality. The new residents couldn't be blamed for wanting a better life at a lower cost. That's a rational choice. From above, you could see the city spreading outward, new construction neighborhoods climbing the surrounding green hillsides. The American housing story had become binary. The unaffordable coast, the rapidly filling Sunbelt. Neither option was what it used to be. Then, the policy shifted. Remote work mandates began reversing. The calculus that had driven millions of moves was changing. But construction continued. Supply was finally catching up, in some places. The question was whether it would be enough. On the coasts, the exodus had slowed. Not reversed, but slowed. A few more people stayed. A few more lights came back on. But recovery wasn't equal. The graph split into two lines. One for those who could afford the new prices, one for those who could not. On the same block, a luxury condo tower and the building where the people who service that tower can still afford to live. For now. In the Sunbelt, the pattern that had emptied the coasts was now replaying, with different cities as the setting. The national homeownership rate, 65%, and falling. The slowest drift toward a renter nation in decades. A generation that expected to buy is signing leases instead. Not as a stepping stone, as a destination. No photos on the walls, no paint he chose, nothing fixed, nothing owned. The architecture of impermanence. Different cities, different zip codes, same apartment door, same quiet. A generation renting their lives 1 year at a time. The Victorian is still there. The street is still quiet. The sign is still up. Some things take longer to resolve than a news cycle. No one decided this. It is the sum of millions of individual decisions. Each one rational, each one a small piece of a picture no one was trying to paint. The Victorian eventually sold, slightly below asking price, after 112 days. Someone found their number. The buyer wasn't moving in. He was converting it. 4 rental units where 1 family home once stood.
This is theirs. The backyard is synthetic grass. The Southwest demands that trade. The water bill sits on the counter, a reminder of what desert living costs. They chose this, deliberately, with eyes open. Settled is not a small thing, not after years of moving. The child drawing at the kitchen table knows nothing of affordability ratios. She just knows this is where home is. At night on the Phoenix street, every house has its lights on. A neighborhood too new to have history, and too full of people to be anything but alive. The forces that moved all of these people are still in motion. Unseen, slow, inevitable. The map is still being drawn.